Rosemary Hardy, you were the first one in this morning. Gay Calhoun, Kendra Wright, Marquita Porter, Rochelle Parker, Tisha Hillman, Jennifer Lee, Tim Anderson, Latanya Henderson, Christine Gordon, Viola Kirby, Darlene O'Neill, Pat Hall, Bridget Jefferson, Laisha Bledsoe, Joyce Lee, Lamont Good, Donna Stevenson, Monchelle Dickerson. Let's worship around the world, united, all voices, Amanda Higgins, Danielle Binion, Dorothy Shelby, Tiffany Burns, Andrea Bledsoe, Luca Lee. Anna Rocca, good morning, Mother. Minister Vonda Morton, good morning to each and every last one of you. Once again, we're here on a fantastic, fabulous Friday. You're in the right place at the right time. We're going to get this thing started off here in just a little bit. We're going to worship for a minute with Uncle Reese. You might as well get your praise on. Brenda Lee, good morning to you. United as one. United together for the sun. Let's worship around the world. United. Let's go. All voices, all tongues, all Christians. United together as one. Let's go. Let's worship around the world. Michelle Slaughter, good morning to you. Let's worship around the world. Let's worship around the world. Trina Jones, good morning. Deacon Ron Morton, Thompson family, good morning to you. Let's worship around the world. 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 Deacon Melvin Porter Jr., Pastor Tyrone Bledsoe, Donna Sanders, good morning to you. Let's worship around the world. 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 Yolanda Goodwin, good morning. Let's keep it going just for a little bit longer, give people a little bit longer to get logged in. We're going to keep going with Uncle Reese this morning. I find myself not wanting to get out of bed. Depression has a gray cloud floating over my head. Isaiah Malone, good morning. Lenny Eddington Passmore, good morning. Brooklyn Fuquay, Tanika Benson, good morning. Well, y'all, it's time. It's that time. We're going to pause for the calls. Y'all know what just happened. Anytime we pause for the calls, the one and only, I'm still calling her the birthday girl, my girl. Lady Ann just joined us this morning. Good morning, sweetheart. Good morning, my dog. My dog. God bless you. Deacon Kenny Goodwin, good morning. When the world says give up, God says move forward. When the world says give up, God says move forward. The world says give up. Tish, good morning to you. When the world says give up, God says move forward. When the world says give up, God says move forward. When the world says give up, God says move forward. Richard and Rebecca Lane, good morning to you.
Thank you for your day.
Sonia Hurd, good morning to you.
When the world says give up, God says move forward. When the world says give up, God says move forward. When the world says give up, God says move forward. When the world says give up, God says move forward.
Patrice Williams, good morning to you.
Sleeping, praying, and dreaming. My lifestyle is worship to you. Worship you. While I'm moving, breathing, crying, sleeping, praying, and dreaming. My lifestyle is worship to you.
Deborah Dangerfield, good morning.
Thank you for the grace to move forward. Thank you for the grace to continue. Thank you for the grace. Hallelujah. We say thank you. Thank you for the grace to continue. Thank you for the grace.
Miss Sonia, good morning.
To move forward. Thank you for the grace to continue. Thank you for the grace to move forward. Thank you for the grace. Thank you for the Thank you for the grace. Thank you for
Just Denise, good morning. Courtney Robinson, God bless you. So glad you joined us this morning. Jackie Davis Watkins, good morning.
Forward, thank you for the grace to continue. Thank you for the grace. Hallelujah. Thank you for the grace to continue. Thank you for the grace to move forward. Thank you for the grace. Thank you for your grace.
Well, there you have it. Uncle Reese. And I know you all have to be excited about tonight. We are so looking forward to this concert this evening. Well, before we get really all into that, just want to say again, I know you all noticed that I'm all decked out in my Chiefs gear. Y'all know it's Red Friday here in Kansas City, Missouri. And the Chiefs season officially kicks off this Sunday versus the Cleveland Browns. And we're looking for a win this Sunday. But even before we get to this Sunday, we are excited. We are ecstatic, at least I am, about what's going to take place the entire weekend. I've been telling you all for months that Uncle Reese was on his way to Kansas City. And you all know if I tell you something, it's going to happen, because I don't believe in making idle promises or false promises. I believe in delivering on whatever I say to the best of my ability. Well, ladies and gentlemen, listen. I want to get you worked up and ready for this evening and this weekend. That's one of the reasons why I was playing that music this morning. I love music anyway. Wonderful music. But let's do this. Let's do something special this morning. Let's welcome to the platform this morning none other than my little brother, Uncle Reese.
What's up? What's up? What's up, man?
Hey, what's happening, man?
Listen, I see you with all that Chiefs gear on, man. It's a crazy story, man. I was blessed because, as a youth pastor, I deal with young kids who have been through traumatic situations. It was this young man that I was mentoring, and his parents, sad, but they were going through a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in court, and you just never know what a young person is going through. So the judge asked him, he was like, who do you want to live with? Do you want to live with your mom or your dad? And he was like, well, it shocked everybody. He was like, well, I don't want to live with my dad because he's been very abusive to me. And I was like, oh, wow. Then he said, I don't want to live with my mom because she beats me as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked him, they said, who do you want to live with? He was like, I want to live with the Kansas City Chiefs because they don't beat anybody. And I was just so blessed by that. You feel me?
You're wrong for that. You know you're wrong for that one, boy. Hey, they about to light you up. They are about to light you up in the chat room. You are in Chiefs Kingdom up in here. And I'm telling you, we are some diehard Chiefs fans. We keep trying to remind people we have none other than Patrick Mahomes.
Hey, that boy Rollo. That boy bad. I'm gonna be honest. That boy made me believe. That boy made me believe again.
Absolutely.
And y'all, I'm telling you, that boy done brought a championship here.
Yeah, that's right.
That boy done brought a championship here.
That's right.
And now it's a whole bunch of people that don't live in Kansas City wearing them jerseys. Come on.
That's true, man. I tell you, see, y'all got to understand, y'all just got to peek into our personal dialogue, and this is what we do all the time. But let me say this, y'all. Don't jump on my little brother too bad. Listen, he is very, very objective when it comes to viewing this whole thing about teams. And y'all see he's wearing the Tampa Bay gear.
Hallelujah.
He's a Tampa Bay fan, but the reality is, let me put this plug in here. After the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we had real talk about it, and he was very objective. I mean, really, from a standpoint of a real fan, and he understood how Kansas City was handicapped. With that game, and that the outcome could have been different. And I love talking to guys like that. I love talking to guys. I appreciate that. You're just real about whatever you talk about, man. And that's the reason why I appreciate our relationship. Hey, tell the people what's been going on with Uncle Reese lately. What's been happening, man?
Man, and shout out to Tisha Hillman, man. She be holding it down on all my lives, but.
Mine too.
I'm trying to figure out how she got the time to be such a blessing to everybody. I had to make sure she wasn't an app that YouTube was using to help people. I was like, blessing everybody. Yeah. So she's one of the chief moderators. She's over my security team. I've been a lot's been going on. So I'm a youth pastor now, and it's something that I've always, had a heart for. I've always wanted to do. And unfortunately, I've been a youth pastor for a long time. My dad used to tell me, he was like, you're a youth pastor. Like, you are a youth pastor. You just don't have a title. And so I've been a youth pastor for a long time. I would even beg to say since about 2010. When I was at a church that was void of that position, I saw the sheep without a shepherd, and I just kind of stepped up and was like, man, these young people, they need something. And I began to love on them and just love on them with no budget, love on them with no support, love on them with, most youth pastors I know, they broke, not because they broke, just because when you're dealing with, and it's different too, like, and that's why I tell people, I'm like, look, you can't just go get you can't go to Lifeway and get the youth pastor book, because that don't apply to our community sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, some of the parents that we pastor their kids, like, they ain't got no money. They ain't got nothing. Like, I done showed up at kids out, they ain't even got no school clothes. So, like, as a real youth pastor, you're gonna be broke.
Wow.
In our community sometimes. So anyway, but it's such a blessing to have been doing that with no support, and then be a part of a ministry now that's similar to yours, where it's like there's actually support now.
Right. Okay.
Like, I almost been abused so long, I don't even know how to have a good pastor that's like, what? It's a budget. It's help. I could ask for help.
Wow.
So that's why. So I'm learning. I got it out the mud, but now I have like local support. So it's like, it's weird to me, and I don't know if anybody that's watching this has been to a church where you don't have any. It's almost like being in a relationship with somebody that's abusive, like emotionally, mentally, and then y'all break up, and then you get with the person that God really got for you.
Oh, wow.
So that's like been mind blowing right now. It's like weird having a team like right now, like I'm in Kansas City because I'm fellowshipping with my big bro.
Yeah.
And I have staff members, volunteers, people that aren't even getting paid on my team that are calling me like, hey, Pastor Reese, is there anything I could do for you? Shout out to Dwayne, shout out to Brother Al, shout out to Patricia, shout out to Antoinette, shout out to, make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. Shout out to Jonathan, Deontay. If I'm missing anybody, I just can't recall. But like, to have people like that are calling you, asking if there's anything they can do while you're gone, it's mind blowing. So that's one of the big things that I've been really focused on. Like, now that I'm in a healthy church body, it's like I want this for everybody.
Wow.
I want this for everybody.
Listen, again, and I know you kind of already touched on it, but talk to our viewing audience about how crucial it is for ministries to give the utmost attention to youth ministries, because Kanan know that I'm always trying to push our youth ministry. Yeah. And I believe in investing in our youth and all of that. Sometimes they need a little help understanding that, because once they hear that voice of that pastor too repeatedly, what's being said somewhat sounds redundant to them. But, you being entrenched in youth ministry at the standpoint that you are, maybe you can enlighten us even further on how important it is for us to invest in our youth and what that does for youth at this stage in their life, because we're mainly talking about children to teens primarily.
Yeah. So first, and shout out to my pastor as well, Bishop Vaughn McLaughlin, man, Potter's House, we in Jacksonville. Shout out to him as well. One of the things I love about him is, and this may sound bad, I got my job since June. We don't talk about the youth ministry. When we hang out, we kick it like how me and you kicking it.
Right.
Like, he literally is like, Reese, I'm 60-something years old. I don't want to pastor 70-year-old people, just them. I want to pastor young people. Do what you do. Let me support what you do.
Right.
He's like, call me if you need help. If there's something bigger than you, hit me up. I love that. He's not over there micromanaging me. He's not over there. And I love that. And I feel like sometimes in churches, like when the head pastor, has to be in control and micromanage everything, really it's an issue. And check this out now. Some of y'all watching this about to get salty with me now. If you have a pastor like that actually has a heart, that means he don't trust y'all. So you really got to look in the mirror and really be like, well, who don't he trust over here?
Wow. Wow.
Really, maybe that's why he won't let go, because he don't trust somebody. So that's something you got to look at too. And you got to ask yourself this: are we trustworthy to run stuff? Now, it's a difference between if everybody in the city know you're competent and like you got a reputation in the city for holding it down, then they micromanage you, then it's probably on them. But if don't nobody else in the city know who you are, know why you coming, you get what I'm saying? You might be on here, you know. But youth ministry is so important because this is what churches don't understand. Your church is only going to be as strong as your 20-year-olds to 30-year-olds.
Okay. All right. All right.
Your church is only going to be as strong as your 20-year-old ministry.
Wow.
So, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, like, I meet these giants in the faith, right? And see, a lot of times, young people, millennials, right? We forget how young the disciples were when they took over the world. And that system, it's actually perpetuated itself all throughout history. Like, I mean, even if you look at the civil rights movement, like Martin Luther King, Malcolm, these guys was in their 20s acting a fool, cutting up, going to jail, ready to die. And Bishop Commons, how long have you been pastoring?
I've been pastoring now 29 years.
How old were you when you first opened the doors to your church and ain't have no clue what you was doing? You just love God, ain't had no plan, ain't have nothing.
Well, I walked into a very good situation in that I took over from another person who had been pastoring for over 36 years. But I was 29 years old when I took the reins of senior pastor at Canaan Worship Center.
And let me ask you this. And you were 29 years old and you came in. Did you do the exact thing that your predecessor did?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's no disrespect to my predecessor. As a matter of fact, I have nothing but high praise for Pastor R.B. Poe, who was my predecessor. He left the church in good hands, in good place or position. And so I walked into a pretty advantageous position. But then what he did that really kind of set me up is that he prepared the congregation for moving on from where they are. And he told them, I have one of the deacons, Deacon Eddie Nelson in particular, we've had this conversation on so many occasions about how he, Pastor Poe, literally told them, he was 89 years old when he passed away, when he preached his last sermon at the church. But Deacon Nelson has shared with me how Pastor Poe told them, you're going to get a younger pastor in here who's going to have a different vision, a different mindset. And you've got to be willing and prepared to move in the direction of the vision of the new pastor. I couldn't have been set up any better than that because he was so correct. And just so you know, Uncle Reese, when I walked into Canaan, the name of the church was Canaan Missionary Baptist Church. And we were very traditional. We were a very traditional congregation, very regimented, so to speak, in just about everything. As a matter of fact, when I came to Canaan, drums were only allowed in the church every fifth Sunday. That's real talk. That's the honest goodness truth. Here we are now, Canaan Worship Center. 29 years later, we're now Canaan Worship Center. We have very free worship. We have a full band. Yes, there's great emphasis on worship and young people and all of that. And we're still trying to do everything that we can to reach our young people, to minister to our young people. So, that's kind of where that's where we come from. That's what we've been through.
And bro, it's like you're only going to be as powerful as your 20-year-olds, man.
I believe that.
And the reason being because, and I'm going to be honest, if you can actually get somebody that's over 13 but under 20 saved, for real, it's finna make everybody uncomfortable. Like, it's scary when you get a 13-year-old saved, for real.
Wow.
Because when you get a 13-year-old saved, for real, they ready to die.
Yeah.
They ready to give it. They don't have nothing connected to this. They ain't like us. They don't have no bills. They don't got no dignity. They ain't married. Like, see, me, you know, as much as I want to die for God, in the back of my mind, I'm gonna be thinking like, man, hey, let me make sure Carrie straight. Wow. Like, and then I'm gonna be like, man, you know, I done got all this money. I don't want Carrie to be happy with no other dude after I die for the gospel. Now, boy, if gonna be living in my house I just paid off, boy. Go ahead and take out a second mortgage before I die for the gospel. I don't work too hard. I'm spending some of that. Hallelujah. Oh my God. Hey, before I do my missionary trip, I got to take me a second mortgage out. Hallelujah. This how paid off, God. Oh my goodness. Fine. I'm getting me a Ventador. I'm getting me all gold to the top, diamond.
Y'all, this is what we do all the time, y'all. No, this is the way our conversations go all the time.
But young people, like, you know, I look at Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, like, and, you know, we could say whatever we want about these guys. People got their opinions on them now today, but, yo, them boys was 19 years old, getting whooped and beat up, hanging with Martin Luther King. Who was 26 the first time he went to jail. Me, like, when I was in my 20s, I was jumping off walls. I was ready to worship until I pass out. Like, young people at that age, they're angry and they want to mess up the world.
Wow. Yes.
And anger ain't always bad. Like, when I got saved in my 20s, I wanted to mess the world up. I wanted to tear up the system. I wanted everything to be so real. Now that I'm 38, right? And this is something that's crazy, right? And I tell my young people this. I'm 38 years old. I don't look it, but I am.
Right. For real.
Like, I'm like this here.
Got that baby face.
You know what I'm saying? I pray God. You know what I'm saying? I used to look, people, when I was in high school, people used to think I was 12. Now I'm thanking God now.
Yeah, right.
But I have learned this. My time as a warrior the sun is setting on that.
Okay.
And now my wisdom is becoming stronger than my muscles.
Okay.
So now I'm like this. And y'all watching this, even you, Bishop Collins, you were 29 years old.
Yes.
And you was ready to tear up the world. And it's evident because you carved out a space in your city that people know about. Like, even before I came here, I always check. I always call all my friends. Like, I call you sometimes if I'm going to a church.
Right.
And I'm like, hey, who is this dude? And you something like, I have no clue. Then suddenly you're like, oh yeah, he's good. Right. So people knew you that I knew that don't live here.
Right.
So it's almost like your youth ministry, right? You have to get these kids on fire.
Right.
And bring them to the same place that Jesus had them, where they were like, Jesus, where else would I go? The fruit of that, and I always bring up this man ministry. I met Michael Todd in 2013 when he was a youth pastor.
Right.
That boy ain't have no sense. He loved God. And now you look at his church. Now we talking about almost 10 years later. That's his youth ministry running that church now.
Absolutely.
They didn't go nowhere. Like, and see, we parents, we have these visions for our kids. I want them to go to college. I want them to do this. I want them to do that. No, we want them to encounter God at such a level wherever they are in their city that they like college. We got to almost force them to go to college locally. Everybody can't leave. Because if the best people leave the city, then who's left to run it?
Absolutely.
My kids, I pray that they go to college, but more than that, I pray that they see the will of God on their life. Like, I'm going to say this. You know, people might get mad at this. I didn't graduate from college.
Right.
Now I hire people that got master's degrees.
Absolutely. That's right.
I went to college, but when I went there, God showed up and I decided to take that route. Do I believe in higher education? Absolutely. Am I going back to school? Yes, because I want a degree. Like, I don't need it. I just want it.
Right.
So I'm gonna go back and get it. But we have to get your youth ministry should be so tight that nobody wants to leave.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want you to address some things, because one of the things that I found to be a great concern in terms of youth ministry is it's difficult to find consistent, faithful, loyal volunteers, number one. And when you find people that are being assigned to work in youth ministry, here's the other challenges that I think our young people face. Number one is being under the tutelage of fake folk. Okay. That's number one. And then the other issue is the abandonment issue, wherein the older people that are supposed to be mentoring them and bring them along, they get tired for whatever reason, or just decide, well, I don't want to do this no more, and they abandon the young people. And that sets the young people back tremendously. Address those kind of issues and share with our viewing audience how important it is for us to be consistent and for real with dealing with our young people.
Yeah, young people, one thing I love about pastoring young people, they don't care about your title. They don't care about who you are. They real. If they don't like you, they not gonna like you.
Right.
I love pastoring young people. Like dead serious, Kirk Franklin, anybody can show up to my church. My kids, they not gonna care. They not gonna care. Their kids don't care about who you are until they know you care. See, we done learned how to be fake at our age. Like we will literally honor somebody because we see the benefit of honoring them. Kids don't see the benefit in honoring it. You got to teach them how to honor. That's number one, too. You got to teach kids how to honor you.
Right.
Kids don't live, the world don't work like honor thy parents and all that. You got kids online doing pranks on their parents. Like, have y'all seen the scholarship prank?
No, I haven't.
It's a prank where people got their parents on the phone and they doing a scholarship. They like, Mom, I need your help for this scholarship. They're like, I like to thank my grandmother because, you know, growing up, she did what she had to do so we could make it. She used to be a prostitute and blah, blah, blah. And their grandma was like, I would have never did nothing like that growing up. Because I would have died.
Exactly. Instantly.
But see, y'all got to understand, these new grandparents was in the club listening to Juvenile.
Okay.
These new grandparents was listening to Pumps in a Bump. So these new grandmas, they different than the old grandmas, right? They look different. So people, I get why you want to quit. I'm gonna be honest, like I have been jumped by 40 people. I done fought 6 police officers before. And listen, not because they assaulted me, because I was dumb. So let me put that out there. Those altercations were easier than having a conversation with a group of 16-year-olds.
Wow.
Because kids are dumb as rocks. I'm going to be honest. When I was a kid, I was as dumb as a rock. And you know what really made me dumb? I thought I knew everything.
Okay.
So when you talk to young people, you see you too intelligent. So your brain be about to explode because you just be like, boy, I'm trying to tell you, feel me? You know what I'm saying? And they just be talking and think they know what they're talking about.
Right.
So it frustrates you and you just be like, I'm not finna argue with nobody about their future. But you have to contend with them. So I get why you want to quit. But when it's almost like this, kids do this. They try to run you away. And then when you leave, they get hurt.
Absolutely.
Don't let them run you off. And I'll say this for my older saints, right? You know, the word tells older women you're supposed to instruct younger women.
That's right.
Like, prime example, right? And I always go back to accountability. Like, young people don't want accountability. People my age, like, it's almost like, I know why you're frustrated, because that honor isn't automatically given to you anymore. Like, you have to really go and earn it. And I don't think people want to earn that honor in people's life. Like, in other words, like, you just want to tell young people what to do, and then you just want them to listen just because you're older. You got to go into a young person's life and actually fulfill a need now. Mm-hmm. Like, mm-hmm. for instance, right? You actually have to see that young person, and before you give them some advice, you may have to be like, hey, let me take you school shopping. Hey, let me teach you how to drive. Hey, let me help you with your math homework or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, you got to actually, like, provide for somebody now in a way that they're before they'll even listen to you. And I think people don't want to put that time in, but I'm telling you this, it is so essential, because your church is only going to be as healthy as your youth ministry.
That's right.
Like, period. Like, youth bring life. And I have seen with my own eyes a church that was struggling, got the right youth pastor there, who didn't wait for parents to bring their kids to church. He went to the high schools.
Right.
He converted an entire high school to Christ. That high school started coming, and I saw, like, I remember, like, this the craziest thing for me. This was in 2017. I saw kids showing up to church, like, I'm talking about attitude, like, mad, bro, sitting in the back, can't even worship. And then the pastor be like, man, what's up, bro? You good? What's up? Man, bro, man, my apologies, dog. I'm talking about, this is like a 12-year-old talking to his youth pastor. He mad. And we go to the back. He like, bro, what's up? What's going on, Dante? He like, man, my apologies, bro. Like, I told my mom I ain't trying to be late, man. Like, I was trying to get her up, man. Bro, like, I told you I wouldn't be late, bro. Like, it won't happen again, man. For real, bro. And I was like, this boy made his mama come to church, and he mad that she was late, and he apologizing to the pastor that his mama was late. I said, this boy, see, kids, especially if you're a little boy, I used to run my mama. I'm going to just be honest. Little girls can run their daddy. Mm-hmm. I'm just being real. If a little girl, especially if your kid trying to do the right thing, I saw a church grow exponentially to the fact that they had more kids than adults at that church. Now they bought a whole shopping plaza because them kids made their parents come to church. Like, them kids became a hassle. Mama, did you pray today? Mom, you know we supposed to. I'm talking about kids being like that. That youth pastor used to be like, hey, man, wake your parents up at 6 o'clock and make them pray with you. Them kids, boy, they was 6 o'clock. Boy, I'm talking about, I seen parents like, oh, my God. Like, why did you tell my kid to wake me up at 6 and pray? Because them kids gonna do it now.
Wow. Yes, they will. They will. When they get serious about it, they ready.
Them kids gonna make everybody's life horrible at the house till you obey God.
You know, you're really hitting on something here, because I'm going to make some of our members a little bit uncomfortable, because, you know, we at one time had a youth facility that was strictly designated for our youth, our Young Nation building, and it's about 3 miles down the road from our main campus. Okay,
that was the gym that we went to the first time, right?
No, this was another one. This was another place down on Bannister, but that one did have a gym in it as well. We had parents that refused to take their young people down to that building on Sunday morning, which is only 5 minutes away from the main campus. I'm literally talking 5 minutes away from the main campus. They said that was too far out of the way. Those young people, the setup was so that they can have their own ministry, worship in their own flavor, and be able to even now enjoy and have social time and fellowship with one another. Everything was centered around them. As a matter of fact, it was my vision for them to develop and duplicate a youth church that would mirror the main church, that would be preparing them to come in and take over leadership even in the main church. But the parents wouldn't cooperate. We would open it up on Friday night for them to come and hang out, and food, fellowship, fun, music, all of that. But the parents. So address, once again, you kind of touched on it already, address how important it is for parents not to be a roadblock to children who have shown interest in being a part of ministry.
Well, I'm going to say this first. Whoever the kids weren't preached to, like, so for instance, like at my church, right? The vision of my pastor, his heart, I hold in my hands. So if my pastor, if I think he wants something, it's on, dog.
Oh.
It's on, bro. Like, if I think this man wants something, it's on, cuz. Like, I'm talking about, let me think he wants something. Y'all ain't got no choice. Like, I'm here to be that boy fist, cuz, like, he ain't. So I'm going to say this. Them kids, them parents, whatever. And this one thing I love, like, y'all don't have to like me. But I'm going to tell y'all the truth. So, number one, them kids, I let kids know, use your influence as a kid. Tell your parents to do the right thing. Be punished for being annoying. I tell my kids.
Wow.
Be punished for being annoying.
Let me say this real quickly. Bless Jasmine. That's Will Parker Jr., Rochelle Parker's daughter. She's off at Fisk University down in Nashville.
Come on.
She's on the line with us right now, and she just sowed a seed through Super Chat. She's in college, sowing seed.
So you a college student?
Yeah, college student. This is her first year. And we're so proud of Jazzy. We're so proud of her. You know, of course, now Will and Rochelle, they did a bang up job with their children. They're constantly pouring into them. And I tell you, I love the Parker children. I love all the children, but this is a good example right here. When parents get involved and pour themselves into investing into their children spiritually, this is the kind of result, you know, that happens. She could be off in college kicking it, not even thinking about us.
And the Bible is very clear to speak on what you said. Now, and this is what I'll say to those parents, right? So you had a facility that you could take your kids to that actually was governed by the body of Christ.
Absolutely. Fully.
And that was how many years ago?
It's been almost 5 years ago.
So
we wound up having, because the building wasn't being used, we wound up having leasing the building to a funeral home.
So 5 years ago, you had a facility that all you had to do was support. I ask you this, those same parents, let's look at the fruit of those 5 years. What are your kids doing now? Are any of you guys struggling because now your kid is in a gang, or now your daughter might be out there for the streets?
Wow.
Now your daughter might be 2 years away from starting her OnlyFans page. You know, what is the fruit of that decision? Because I'm telling you this, your kids live in a world that is not governed by the body of Christ. So they take on the thinking of other people that aren't governed by the body of Christ. Now your kid non-binary, don't even know what they is no more. Your kid want to be a pineapple tomorrow, so you got to call them a pineapple now. Like, whatever they want to be, they just are. So I look at it like this. I mean, it's your responsibility. Like, it's your responsibility. Like, this is the thing. I get why you're saying it's too far, because the way life is set up so that you can't think. Like, honestly, like, the people who run, like, so people, I love economics, by the way. There are people who think 100 times further than you ever could think. There's people that spend 90% of their time thinking, 10% of their time implementing, right? Those are the people that run the world, right?
Right.
So they have balanced the economy. They know every region how much minimum wage should be, how much this salary should be. And they set it up so that after you pay all your bills and do everything you got to do, they make it so you never make enough money to quit your job, and you never make not enough money so that you don't think it's worth working.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Which is what's going on in the economy right now. Like, people don't want to go to work because you're getting money for unemployment. They doing stimulus. So people don't want to work no more. So you see joblessness. It's at an all-time high, but it ain't because people can't work. Like, it's businesses work for, like, right now in this world, you can get a job wherever you want.
Wherever you want. Wherever.
You can get a job. It's people begging. Like, you could literally get a job, cuss your manager out, and they'll be like, "Are you coming back tomorrow?"
Right. Yeah.
Because, so this is what, like, economists have a problem. So anyway, they set life up so you don't have time to think and grow. So I get why your life is so busy that you don't even have time to invest in yourself, which is literally, you got a human being that if we didn't know you had a kid and we saw your kid at the mall, we'll walk up on that kid and be like, "You John, son, John, your daddy." That kid got your DNA so much.
Right.
That kid is your future, and you don't have time to drop them off. Like, this is the thing that y'all don't understand.
But y'all drop them off at the mall and leave them, but not at the church.
But see, this the thing, though. This the thing. You know why they drop their kids off at the mall, though? Because their kids bother them.
Yeah.
Like, so that's on y'all, man. Like, you got to really look at the fruit. Like, this is why I tell people, right? And it's not just because it's a church event, at which I'm like, listen, our kids have to have something on the weekend. Reason being, because when you look at the statistics in every city, and you can go to the police station, you can ask them, what days do most kids get pregnant on?
Mm-hmm.
What days do most kids get shot, involving gang activity? It's like, people don't be killing through the week. They kill on the weekend.
On the weekends.
Like,
everybody working for the weekend.
Even if your kid ain't saved, like, if they could just be in an environment that is governed by the people of God, yeah. I promise you this, there ain't a lot of shootings at church events.
Right, true.
There's a lot of shootings in other places.
That's right.
It's good to just have your children somewhere safe.
Absolutely.
Where they could be hearing the word of God. Like, but that's on y'all, man. And then you look at the fruit of those decisions. Like, I look at my life, even though I was buck wild, like, my people did what my people did. Them first 13 years, they did their thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when I woke up and saw myself eating the pig slop one day, and I was like, my life ain't got to be like this. I can just go home. I moved back in with my peoples.
Wow.
Because I knew, regardless of what's going on out here, I know that I'm safe at home. Even though I got some foolishness in my life, even though it's my fault, I know that if anybody come to my house on that foolishness, I know what my dad gonna do.
Wow.
Even though I'm dead wrong, my dad ain't finna let nobody kill me. I knew that. Now, for the people that don't have a parent like that, they got you.
That's right. That's where
they got you.
That's where it definitely should be. That's where and again, like I said, my staff will tell you this, and a lot of my congregation is that I'm always harping on trying to do something for our young people and not losing our young people, keeping our young people close to them, to us rather, as adults, as parents, as grandparents. I truly believe that it does take a village to raise a child. And we all, if we would just work together collaboratively and consistently, we can make a whole lot of good things happen for our young people. And that's still my desire. That's still my vision. I noticed you said that Bishop McGough, you say he's 66 years old now?
Might be 64, 65.
Okay, 64, 65. I can relate. I'll be 60 next year.
Wow.
But I don't want to be that pastor that feels like I'm so old that I'm out of touch with the young people, or no longer have that compassion for young people. I don't think that'll ever happen with me, because I just love children. If you want to light me up real quickly All you have to do is start talking about my grandchildren, or let me start talking about my grandchildren. I was just talking to our oldest granddaughter, my wife and I. We were just talking to our oldest granddaughter just on yesterday, I believe. Everybody at Canaan, they know who Taylor is, because I talk about Taylor all the time. Taylor's 15. She's a little girl. Last time you were here, and she's excited about you coming too. She's gonna be with us tonight at the concert. But you know, we just love Taylor, and we do everything we can to pour into her life. Very positive. We love all of our grandchildren, but that's my heart. That's my passion. I want to see our young people put in the best position while we can show them what it means to have a relationship with God. And I even think it's so important that, you know, I often say that your greatest ministry takes place in your home, particularly with young people. When young people can see that their parents and their grandparents are real about their covenant connection with God, then they too can say, okay, there's something real about this. There's nothing fake. And then, see, here's the other thing. As we honor God with our lives and the favor of God begins to manifest upon our lives, then eventually those children and grandchildren get to the point where they say, I want to have what mom and dad have. I want to have what I see grandma and papa and nana and papa. I want to see what I see they have. That's what we really got to do. And I think is more important now than ever before, because like you were saying just a minute ago, and I hope that people didn't just let that slide right by them and go over their head. When you start talking about how these young people now, they don't know who they are. They have identity issues, and they'll, like you say, they'll call themselves, wake up one morning, start calling themselves a pineapple, and they want you to start addressing them as a pineapple. There's a serious issue when that kind of stuff is going on. And one of the issues I see, we have isolated and separated ourselves so far, gotten so far out of touch with our young people that there's no connection there anymore. They're more connected to their electronic devices than they are to the people even in their household.
Yeah.
And why is that? Is because sometimes we adults are so bent on having our lives, you know, still trying to find ourselves. Listen, get out of that nightclub. Take your old self home and sit down and be a parent or a grandparent to the children in your family. Be a blessing that way. Quit trying to go to the club and get your party on, get your drink on and everything. You old. You are old. You know, start using some wisdom to pour into this. Okay, here I go. I'm sorry, y'all.
I'm gonna ask the Lord to just give you 30 seconds. If you could just say whatever you want to your congregation, and they'll really just forget. Like for 30 seconds, God, let him say whatever he wants, and they just have amnesia. They just be like, what just happened? I'm gonna be praying that over your life. Just 30 seconds. 30 seconds. For you to get it all out.
They know here lately, I've been going through this transformation, and I have been very, very transparent and really saying what I want to say, you know. I've always been pretty vocal and about certain things, but you know, I just have such a passion I'm so tired of seeing the destruction that we're witnessing in terms of our young people seemingly going to hell in a handbasket, if you will, and it's really not their fault. I must say that. It's really not their fault. They're going to be products of their environment, you know, and the problem is that we set them in too many unhealthy and ungodly environments. We push them off into those environments simply because we want to free ourselves up to do our own thing. And then when they start to transform, into being that product of their environment. Now we want to look at them side-eyed and cross-eyed and say, boy, girl, what's wrong with you? And the real answer is, if they could answer you honestly, they would say, you're what's wrong with me. What did you expect? You didn't parent me. You didn't love me. It amazes me how many children that I've talked to that wish they had a parent that would discipline instead of letting them get away with anything they wanted to do.
Wow.
You know, so we just need to go back to being parents. We need to stop just trying to be buddies and girlfriends with our sons and daughters. We need to be fathers. We need to be mothers. We need to be grandfathers, grandmothers. Take our rightful place. Say that again.
You got me over here typing. I'm taking notes, brother.
It's really important though, and I mean this from the depths of my soul. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Canaan is not where I envisioned or desire for it to be. And my staff will know, if some of them on here right now, they can type something in the chat. I am always talking about we need more people that will sacrifice and pour into our young people. We really need people who are going to be consistent and loving our young people and showing them a good example, while at the same time being relatable to our young. Let me tell you something. One thing I believe that really impacts my granddaughter, Taylor, and the reason why she loves being around me and my wife is because the kind of relationship that she and I have, we can talk spiritually, biblically, academically, but then Popo can get downright silly with her. And we will spend the afternoon just laughing. We'll look at each other and start laughing, about silly stuff. And sometimes Nana thinks we're too silly, but that's our connection. That's the way we do things. And because of that type of relationship that I have with my granddaughter, I have her ear. She has my ear. Sometimes she sits me down. She's the one doing all the talking. And I'm just sitting there listening to her. And I'd be like, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes her feel like, or affirm that to me, she's a real individual. And it really does my heart good when she initiates biblical conversations with me. This is just what she does. I truly believe that more of our young people would be that way if we would be more real about who we are as believers.
Yeah.
More compassionate toward and understanding toward our young people, and not just criticize everything that they have to deal with, but help them to find a way to navigate through whatever they're dealing with, because they are confronted by so much in life at a much earlier age in life than most of us had to deal with certain things. This thing is real with them. Man, when we were growing up, we didn't have to worry about no pandemics and the economy and all that. They're having to deal with it much earlier. They can't even be kids.
Yeah, and literally when they turn 18, the world is not the same.
It's not.
Like they have access to all things on these cellular devices.
Yes.
They don't have discretion.
That's right.
Like, how do you not become a porn addict?
There you go.
You can watch it on your phone. Like if we tell the truth, when we were their age, y'all had magazines when y'all was their age. Me, I had tapes.
Okay, right.
These kids don't like to watch a tape. I used to have to sneak it in my house.
Absolutely.
These kids, they got a device that there's literally no restrictions to find out where their age is. And even if you put a restriction on their phone, they smarter than you with this technology.
Boy, what?
They can get past whatever you put on. They could literally go to YouTube and say, how do I get past this block? And it's a video that'll teach them. So it's like, bro, like, we didn't have the world at our fingertips. It's like you give a kid the world at their fingertips and be like, use this great power. That's why I never understood like Superman. It's like, you the most powerful dude in the world, and people just like, do the right thing with your power.
Right.
Man, he can't nobody. Well, if you would have had the power of Superman, you would have killed 9 people by now. And then you mad at these kids because they got the world at their fingertips.
Right.
And they're making the wrong decisions. Like, you didn't have to deal with that. Like, this kid kept it real with me the other day. He got in a fight at school. And I'm like, he went bananas. I'm talking about nuts. He went so crazy, he done punched the police officer that tried to break it up.
Wow.
And I was like, bro, why would you do that? He like, man, I'm not finna be no meme, dog. And I was like, finna be no meme? What you talking about? He like, bro, I had to prove to the world that I ain't no coward. I was like, what you mean you had to prove to the world? He like, bro, I'm probably on 15. If I'd have got knocked out or whatever, I'd have been on 15 websites, millions of people clowning me.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, oh,
true.
He's really proven to the world that he ain't no coward.
That's it.
So when these kids fight, they not gonna lose, bro.
Wow. Well, you know, man, we could carry this conversation on forever. And, I got some time constraints that I'm up against. I got day today. I got an 11 o'clock appointment that I got to make sure I get to. But before we sign off today, just tell our viewing audience what they can expect tonight. What can we?
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be comedy. It's gonna be music. It's gonna be teaching. It's gonna be an experience with God like never before. Wow. Like the wisdom of my experiences, the wisdom of my life. When I perform, I go through a story. I tell my life story about how I met God, how God found me, how he met me, how he found me. And it's just going to be an experience, a culmination of my life experiences in a way that can communicate to your life as well. Like, you need to, like, don't miss it. Please don't miss it. Like, bring your family, bring your kids, like, bring everything that God has given you. Every human being that God has given you authority over, they need to be in that room, because this can be a life-changing experience.
It's going to be a life-changing. I believe it's going to be. I appreciate your ministry, man. I've been so blessed by it from the first day I heard your voice. And my first song I got hooked on was Worship Till I Pass Out.
Hallelujah. Yeah.
And I had been telling my staff, I said, y'all, I'm not big on rap and all that,
Yeah.
But and you're not what I classify as a rapper, but you know how to blend it all in there together.
Exactly.
Got that kind of hip hop feel and all that. And when I heard, I said, hey, this dude is a real deal. Let's get him here to Kansas City. And it's been on and popping ever since. Y'all, let me tell you, you can't help but to expect to be blessed tonight if you're on the parking lot with us at Canaan Worship Center, man. Don't forget to bring your lawn chairs. Let's fill that parking lot up. Now, Uncle Reese, me and First Lady, we decided the other night, we know you like to jump and you got energy to jump. So while you jump, we gonna hump.
Hey, there it is. Just hit him with the shoulder. That's all I need.
Just hit it with the shoulder. But I'll be with you, baby. I'll be with you.
Hallelujah. That's it. That's all I need.
I can only get up that far off the ground. So my vertical leap is gone, man. It's gone. But I'm gonna be in there with you. I'm encouraging people of all ages. Let's get out there. Let's worship together. Let's show our young. Listen, after everything that Uncle Reese has shared with us this morning, it ought to make us more sensitive and say, hey, you know what? I need to do my part with regards to impacting and influencing the young people around us. And I'm telling you, when young people feel like you can get with them and understand them, and you open your mind to their free flowing of worship, that style of worship that they like to get involved with, if they know that they're being supported, that'll go a long way in helping them to desire to continue to develop their relationship with God. Man, little bro, I love you, man.
Man, I love you too, bro. Can't wait to ride with you, man. Happy birthday to the first lady too. Come on now.
Absolutely. Yeah. We still celebrating that thing.
Let me hit it for her.
Hit it for her.
Hold up. Oh, hold up. Where my sound at? There we go.
There you go. That's for you, first lady.
Yes, sir. Man, I love you, Britt, bro.
All right, man. Love you too. Look forward to seeing you later on today, man. All right, y'all. There you have it. Look forward to seeing you tonight at 7 p.m. before we end out. If you have not yet, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Turn on the notifications. But most importantly, get the young people to the parking lot at Cain Worship Center tonight. Have them in the building on Sunday morning because it's going to continue. It's going to be an all weekend thing. I know, as they say at times, it's going to be lit. It's going to be lit with the fire of the Holy Spirit. God bless all of you all. Again, as I often say, my prayer and desire is that you have not only a blessed and wonderful rest of your day, but a blessed and wonderful and even prosperous rest of your weekend. Love you. God bless.